The New Forest National Park's landscape is unique and includes the largest area of lowland heath in southern England, a rare habitat that once covered this part of the country. The New Forest is not a natural landscape, it has been shaped over hundreds of years by people, by history, and by the animals that graze it. One of the first things you notice about the New Forest are the free-roaming animals. It's rare to travel more than a few miles without coming across these famous forest residents grazing on gorse, wandering through villages, or even crossing roads. The ponies, cattle, and donkeys are known as the architects of the forest because it is their grazing that creates the accessible landscape. The animals have an ever-changing pattern of grazing and makes a positive contribution to the remarkable biodiversity of the New Forest. 5 species of deer call the New Forest home. It is a great place for deer because there is such a large area of undisturbed land for them to roam. Fallow deer were first brought to Britain from the western Mediterranean during the Roman period when they were kept within enclosures known as vivaria. Historically classified as Cervus dama, from the Latin cervus meaning deer, and dama meaning antelope, they have been formally recognized as a distinct genus, dama, since 1960. Genetic analysis has shown that these Roman fallow deer went extinct in Britain following the collapse of the Roman Empire. It was not until the 11th century that fallow deer were reintroduced, this time from the eastern Mediterranean. These elegant deer have long been prized as ornamental species, and their history in the UK is closely linked to that of deer parks. Initially, they were kept in parks as rare exotica, but gradually their populations increased and they became an important source of venison for aristocratic tables. As the fashion for deer parks declined in the 15th century, many parks fell into disrepair. The deer escaped and began breeding in the wild. It is their descendants that we see today. The word fallow derives from the Old English filu, meaning brownish yellow. Whilst non-native, fallow deer are considered naturalized and are locally abundant and increasing. They are widespread in England and Wales, inhabiting mature broadleaf woodland, with understory, open coniferous woodland, and open agricultural land. They prefer to graze grasses, although they will take trees and dwarf shrub shoots in autumn and winter. The fallow deer is an elegant, medium-sized deer with a typically spotted coat, a characteristic black and white tail, and a white rump patch outlined in black. Some animals are darker brown without any spots, and others are very pale, almost white. Fallow deer prefer deciduous or mixed woodland with large clearings, typically living in small herds. Fallow deer are active throughout the day. Peak activity is at dawn and dusk, with most daytime hours spent lying up, where they lie down to ruminate between periods of feeding. The male has an average lifespan between 8 to 10 years, whereas the females usually live a little bit longer, between 12 to 16 years. Although the civilizations that brought the fallow deer to our shores have long gone, the fallow deer have continued and have become an icon of the British landscape.